Oh, by the way, I changed things this week. I moved these two from here to here. So what do you guys think? Do you like the background? I feel like it's a little more, like, since it's not like totally empty behind me, it's a little more grounded. So let me know what you think. I hope that that is better. Okay, back to the questions. Hey everyone, it's Natalie, also known as Knitty Natty. Welcome to episode 70 of the Love in Stitches podcast. Today is Tuesday, July 7th, 2020, and it is a rainy and gloomy day here in North Texas, but I'm not complaining because it's like 75 degrees outside, which is just perfect for me in the summer. So anyway, it's been a good week. I have done a lot of knitting. I am super excited to share that with you. But first, I am back with some more collaborations. I haven't done a collaboration in a few weeks, so I'm really excited to start introducing you to some they're not new podcasters, but maybe new to you podcasters over the next little while. So today is a collaboration with Allison of the Lofty Loops podcast, and I will tell you more about her right here. Meet my friend Allison from Lofty Loops Yarns. Allison lives in Lincoln, Nebraska with her husband, kids, and their pets, and she is a podcaster, yarn dyer, and she makes tons of tutorials. She loves to knit all kinds of things, but she's really been on a sock kick lately, and you know I love socks, and she's got tons of great tutorials too. All right, so make sure to go check out Allison's podcast. I will have it linked down below, as well as her episode where she is answering the same questions that I'm going to answer here in just a little bit. And we got those questions from Instagram, so if you want to help with the next collaboration and ask questions, more questions for me and another podcaster, then make sure you're following me over on Instagram at Knitty Natty. All right, let's talk about finished objects. So I have some finished socks. They're not a pair and they are not from this last week, but I haven't been able to show you them on the podcast yet because they are the Sock Week 2020 exclusive colorways. So if you haven't already, stop, go watch the Sock Week 2020 intro video and get that element of surprise. But if you've already seen it, I'm going to just show you the socks again briefly. I just want to say that because I don't want to spoil it if you wanted to go watch the whole Sock Week video. So I'm not going to go through all of the Sock Week products. I'm just going to show you the finished socks here. So again, 2 socks, not a pair. But the first one is this gorgeous self-striping from Malia of Malia Made It. It is so much fun. I did this sock cuff down. I used a mini for the cuff heel and toe. And then this is a 10 stripe self-striping. So I did all 10 stripes in the leg. And then it looks like I did 11 stripes, right? Because I went from the coral back to the coral. 11 stripes on the foot. You can see I started decreasing in that last one and then did the toe. I have a self-striping, like knitting socks out of self-striping tips video recorded. I just need to edit it, and I keep saying that, but I'm going to put that up probably on Instagram soon, I hope. But that sock is so much fun. I love that one. I think I did 60 rounds for the leg and like 10 for the contrast color because I didn't want to run out of that many. And then the other one is extra sharky. I love this so much. This is the variegated one. This is from Molly of Molly Klein Design. And I did this one toe up just to change things up. For both socks, I did a fish lips kiss heel. So same heel. I really like how with a variegated yarn, you know, it changes when you have shorter rows. So it's kind of fun how it does that thicker striping here in the heel. And then this one I did 40 rounds yeah, 40 rounds for the leg and 15 for the cuff. And I'm saying that because I did not write that down and I need to make a project page, but I couldn't make one yet because I didn't want to spoil it. But by the time the podcast goes out, I will have project pages for these, and I'm going to be making their partner pairs soon. I'm going to do it and record it as a survival video for Sock Week 2020. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And then the little charms that are hanging from them, they're hanging on there just to show them off, but those are from Tia, who is Tia's Terrific Threads. So she's the third sponsor. So we have Malia Made It, Molly Klein Design, and then Tia. And then there's also bags. There's a bag, a cozy, also from Molly. So please, again, go check out that video. I'm going to talk more about Sock Week 2020 towards the end, but definitely check out that video so you are in the know about Sock Week. Okay, so other than the socks, I sort of finished something this week. I don't have it down here with me, but the placemat that I showed last week, I ended up taking out the bind off and redoing it. I learned a new bind off called the long tail bind off. It's basically a sewn bind off. So you like cut your yarn, you know, make a long 4 times the length, cut it, and then do a sewn bind off. And it looks really, really good. So I can put in a picture here of that little placemat that I finished. I'm using this one for Toaster's dog bowls, but I think I would like to make 4 more and put them on our dining room table. I think that would look really, really cute. I need to order yarn for that, and it's not really a priority right now, so I'm probably gonna wait a little while on that, but I do really like how that turned out. I think it looks super, super cute, and it's nice and washable, and I can, you know, it's good for dogs, good for people, and it'll be great. So I have been knitting a lot this week. You'll be so proud of me. I have been working on my Hufflepuff Helical socks just a little bit. I put in a chocolate frog progress keeper that is from Simply Serving. So cute. So I have done just a little bit right there. So these are socks that I'm making out of 2 different yarns. They're, you know, similar because they're both like yellows and creams. This one, of course, has the black in it. And they are both from either Dragon Horde Yarn or Yarn Cafe Creations, because together they created an advent calendar, and those are the full skeins that were in the advent calendars from 2018 and 2019 for people who are Hufflepuff. So they make a Harry Potter advent calendar. You pick your Hogwarts house, and mine is Hufflepuff. So I decided to blend them together since I didn't have full skeins of either left after using it for a different project. And I think it's looking really, really good. So like I mentioned, I am doing these with helical knitting. So you can see I've got 2 strands of yarn going, and helical knitting is just a way to knit in the round with 2 or more colors. So I'll link my tutorial for you guys, but it's working out great. I'm still a little confused. Like, wrapping your mind around how helical works is harder than actually doing it. Like, doing it, super easy. Wrapping your mind around it, a little more confusing. But I think that it ended up being like the cuff, everything was pretty much even because I have 60 stitches. And so, you know, you slip every 3 stitches when you do. So that's divisible, 60 is divisible by 3. So basically after 20 rounds, I like got back to the beginning of the round. Anyway, you're not gonna notice a difference at all, but it's looking really good. So for helical socks, there's nothing really special that you need to do. I just cast on, did a round with my first color. Actually, I slipped the last 3 stitches and then joined my second color and then just started the helical technique. Now what I'm gonna do for the heel is insert another color entirely. That will allow me not to have to cut these. Plus, I don't think you could continue to like stripe and stuff for the heel. That would just be too complicated. And so I'm gonna leave these attached, join in a new yarn for the heel, do that, and then continue on for the foot. And then, I don't know, I haven't decided on the toe. Maybe I'll do a contrast for the toe as well. We'll see. But those are going really, really great. And then, you guys will be so proud of me. I haven't finished Lilium, but I can guarantee that this is the second to last week you're gonna see it, because I will have it finished and I will be wearing it next week. But I have done so much on Lilium. So I asked for encouragement and I got a ton of encouragement on Instagram. I shared it, like my progress, every day over the weekend, because I did kind of take the weekend off in a sense, and I did a lot more knitting and a lot more relaxing, and that really, really helped. So that popsicle is my marker from last week, and look how much I've done. I'm so proud of myself. That sandcastle was just yesterday's progress, which honestly not bad for a Monday. I had a couple of meetings, and that's what helped me to get to work on it during the day, because I don't think I worked on this at night. I don't remember. But yeah, look, I have done so much. So I probably have about 1.5 inches and then a few rounds of ribbing, and I am done. I'll just have to weave in the ends and block this. So I had went ahead and did the sleeves before I finished, before I even went too far on the body, because I wanted to try it on. And I'm really glad I did, because that's gonna make it so much easier, like that feeling of like finishing the body and then I'm actually done, instead of having to go back and do the neck and the sleeves and all of that. So I'm sorry, I forgot to say what this is. And that's not even the front. Here's the front. Has the little gathers in it at the front. So this is the Lilium, I think it's just Lilium, but like hashtag Lilium Tea by Megan Nodecker of Pip and Pin. And I am using Gritty Knits Darlin Wool Cotton in the colorway Josephine. Focus. Oh, whoa. Colorway Josephine, and I really like it. It is super nice. So I'm excited to finish this. It is quite long, but I think that I will like that. You can see a line. Do you see that line right there? That's where I took it off the needles and I blocked the top half. So you can see the top half looks a lot more even than the bottom. That's blocking. And then fortunately, I don't think you can tell where I went. So I was doing helical knitting here too with 2 different strands of yarn. I don't think you can tell where I went from helical knitting to just 1 skein of yarn, because I don't see a line at all. So that's good. But yeah, so definitely you can tell the difference between blocked and not blocked. There's a big old fat line right there down the middle, but that will go away with blocking. So I hope to be wearing Lilium next week. I am, I think, doing great on yarn. I'll just make sure I leave enough. I might start weighing it here so I can see like how many grams a round takes, so I can make sure to leave enough for the ribbing and the bind off. So it might be a little shorter than it's intended to be, but I do think it's going to grow as well. So I don't know, maybe I need to figure that out here before I sit down and knit tonight while my brain is fresh, but I'm very excited to be finishing that up soon. Okay, let's get into some questions. So if you have any questions for me, feel free to go to the Love and Stitches Ravelry group and ask your question there. I'm happy to answer questions here on the podcast. So I've got one new question this week from Auntie Pop 11, who is Antoinette. And she says, "Hi Natalie, I tried to look for a helical sock tutorial and couldn't find anything. So I tried it on my own and I'm not sure if I did it correctly. Will there be a Love and Stitches tutorial coming soon? Fingers crossed, Antoinette." So that's funny because I'm doing helical sock knitting right now with my Hufflepuff socks, but I am not planning to do a sock tutorial. The reason being is that there isn't really a difference between just helical knitting on like a sweater or hat and helical knitting on socks, except for that one bit I mentioned about, you know, adding in a contrast color for your heel just so that you can keep your other strands attached. So that's my one bit of advice. If there are other people that feel like it would be really helpful to have a helical sock tutorial, let me know. And when I do my second sock, I would be happy to do that. I can just capture that real quick and throw it up on Instagram if that would be helpful to more people. So let me know if that's something that you need. But yeah, right now I'm not planning on it just because I don't know if it's different enough from like the helical tutorial that I already have. So now that I'm thinking about it, I guess there are a lot of things I could add in there, like when you cast on and all that stuff. So anyway, just let me know and I would be happy to oblige if that would be helpful for more people. But again, I'll have my helical tutorial that's already up linked down below. Okay, so now I'm gonna get into those questions that you guys put on Instagram for myself and Allison of Lofty Loops. So if you're coming over here from Allison's channel, welcome. Let me know that you are coming over from her channel. I will just do like a quick little intro of who I am. So like I said at the beginning, my name is Natalie, and I am, I guess first and foremost, I design knit and crochet patterns, but I also have this standing weekly podcast here on YouTube. This is my 70th episode, so I've been doing it for just over a year and a half now. And I also typically have an additional video every week that vary. Sometimes it's a tutorial, sometimes it's like a vlog day in the life, sometimes it's like maybe more like knitting and crochet related content that's not a tutorial but also like informative. So I've done knitter's massage, I've done like cleaning out my yarn room, all kinds of stuff. So that is what you can expect here on the Knitty Natty channel. Okay, let's get into these questions. Again, these came from Instagram and they're fun. There's like a big variety in them. So question number 1, what is your favorite time of day to knit? So I think my favorite time of day to knit is in the morning. I am on summer break right now as a teacher, so I've been getting that extra time, and I really enjoy waking up, getting my breakfast and coffee, and then I sit on the couch and I listen to Harry Potter and I knit, usually on my Harry Potter socks. Some this week I was working on Lilium because I'm just really trying to get that done. But I just get to sit there and knit for like 30 to 45 minutes. And honestly, it's one of the best ways for me to start the day. I guess secondary to that, I most of my knitting is done after dinner, like at the end of the day when I sit down and I watch TV. That's kind of how I end my day every day. So that's probably the time I knit the most, but I think my favorite is that morning time because it's just a bit more treasured. I don't really get that when I'm working, so I really love that time. All right, number 2, what is your favorite fiber or fiber blend? So the fiber that I probably work with the most is that merino nylon blend. I pretty much only knit and crochet with fingering weight yarn. I don't really branch out from that. So yeah, I use that wool nylon blend, 75% wool or merino, superwash merino wool, and 25% nylon floor ply sock yarn. That's pretty much what I work with all the time. I feel like that has been really popular over the last few years. A lot of hand dyers use that too, and they can just dye beautiful bright colors on it. So I really do like that. But I branch out and I do single ply sometimes or 2-ply yarns. I've got a variety here behind me. Oh, by the way, I changed things this week. I moved these 2 from here to here. So what do you guys think? Do you like the background? I feel like it's a little more, like since it's not like totally empty behind me, it's a little more grounded. So let me know what you think. I hope that is better. Okay, back to the questions. Number 3, how do you decide which projects to cast on next? Now, this has definitely changed for me over the years. So currently I am not really looking ahead too far on my projects. I am already thinking about fall because for me, fall starts in August because that's when I go back to work and go back to school. So I'm already thinking about fall. Plus, you know, you want to be a little ahead, I think, of the seasons just because of how long it takes to knit garments and everything. So I kind of currently am planning projects by season. I'm being a lot more intentional lately, I guess you could say. So I'm kind of thinking like about the season, but I also usually keep my whips low. So I usually have like one big project, whether it's a garment or a shawl, and then one smaller portable project, which is almost always socks. And then I typically have a design going. And then sometimes I have like I don't know, would you say like a complicated project? Like my big projects, I might have like a simple and a complicated. So But usually I have just like 3. So like a main project that's like the one I'm gonna work on at home, a simple project that's really portable like socks, and then a design on the go. And that's kind of where I tend to stay. It helps me finish more things, but it isn't always like super exciting to share about. So, but yeah, so I did a summer project planning video, and I'm planning to do one for the fall in, I don't know, maybe a month or so. And I'm excited to do that. I have a few different things in mind. I've got plenty of sweater yarn up here. So maybe I can even plan a couple garments. And if I don't finish them both, then one can be a winter garment. We'll see. I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, number 4, what is your biggest knitting / crochet fail? So I've had plenty of these. My most recent of which I think was a crocheted top that I ripped out. I knit it like 1.5 times, or sorry, crocheted it like 1.5 times. I crocheted the whole thing, ripped half of it out, recrocheted it, then like never wore it for a year, and then ended up ripping it out completely. I will link that video if you're interested. But yeah, that was a big fail. The other one that stands out to me was longer ago. I used to knit on commission. So I worked in a yarn store, and people would come in and ask for either items to be finished or items to be knit or crocheted entirely. And so I committed to making a felted bag or purse for somebody, and I knit the entire thing. I think you start at the bottom and then increase and then just like knit up, and I knit the entire thing. I'm like, this is such a weird shape. And I mean, things that you're gonna felt are usually a weird shape anyway, but it was really, really skinny and really tall. And so I went back through the instructions, and like the very first row, it said to knit front, back, front. And I had missed that front. So instead I had done knit front and back increases, which only gives you 1 additional stitch, where I should have done knit front, back, front, and gotten 2 additional stitches the entire way around this bag. So like it had the completely wrong stitch count for the whole thing. So that was a huge bummer, because all that time I just wasted, and of course I had a deadline for this person. So those are my 2 standout ones, but a million others along the way for sure. Okay, and then the last one is, what are your favorite books? So my favorite books of all time, I kind of have a tie. I have 2 series that I love a lot. The first is Harry Potter. I'm doing a Harry Potter summer reading challenge. If that doesn't show you enough how much I love Harry Potter, I'm rereading all of the books this summer. I'm currently on the 5th book, and it will wrap up on July 31st, Harry's birthday. I'm really excited. And my husband and I are also watching the movies along the way. But the other series that I really love is definitely more of a guilty pleasure. It's called The Clique. It is a young adult series about these middle school girls who live in a very like wealthy part of New York. They're like really fancy and wealthy, and it's just about their like, back and forth, and it's just funny. There's like 20 books, and I reread all of them throughout the spring. I had read them previously, I think in high school, and hey, they still held up for me. I still really liked them. So if you like young adult novels, these are just realistic fiction, then you might like The Clique. I really liked it a lot. All right, let's get into some news. So first and foremost, Sock Week 2020 has been announced. I will link the video so you can go see all of that. You can see all of the products, you can hear all of the dates. I will also have all the links to like the Ravelry the Ravelry thread. There's 2, there's a chatter and a finished sock thread. And then there's an info sheet on Google. Anyway, lots going on. So the most important thing for you to know today is that on Friday, July 10th, all of the exclusive products are going live. And since these are from small businesses, there is a limited number. So if you see any of the products that you want, please set your alarm for 6 p.m. Central Time, July 10th, so that you can go grab the products that you want. Now, you don't have to get any of the products in order to participate in Sock Week. But of course, if you like them, please support these small businesses because they have been so awesome. So those were the socks I showed you in the beginning from Malia Made It. Molly Klein design, and then these aren't all the progress keepers, but those are just a few. Again, they're all in the video. So Sock Week is not going to start for a while. It's during Shark Week, which is August 9th, I think, through the 16th. But we have to start ahead of time so that the sponsors can send out products, send out like yarn and bags and everything to everybody that wants them. But the actual Sock Week make-along doesn't start until August 9th. So you can knit or crochet one sock during those 8 days. Again, all the details are down below, also in that Sock Week intro video. Also, in other news, I am planning to do an Instagram live sometime in the next week, I think on Wednesday evening. So be looking out on Instagram for that. My goal is to have a YouTube live at the end of every month and an Instagram live in the middle of every month so that I have both. And then I don't know what my hair is doing. And then I can have like an evening and a daytime one. So that's the plan right now. Okay, let me try that again. The Skinny Can Cozy is now live. Here it is in the original version and then the self-striping version. And for one more day, if you're watching this on Thursday, through Friday, July 10th, the coupon code from the love letter is good. So you can get 30% off. So if you're watching this later on, don't worry, there's still a good discount. There is a bundle for all three cozies, the Classic Can Cozy, Classic Bottle Cozy, and Skinny Can Cozy all come as one pattern for $12, which makes them each $4. So that's a pretty good deal. So I think that is it for news. So let's talk about life. So this past weekend was the 4th of July here in, well, the 4th of July everywhere, but it was a holiday here in the United States. And it was definitely a low-key holiday. We had other plans to meet with some friends, but those changed. And so instead, one of my brothers who is living in Austin, Texas this summer, drove up and spent the day with us. We all went to my mother-in-law's. We hung out mostly inside because we would have loved to go to the pool, but it was so crowded and we just didn't want to risk being around people. So we hung out mostly inside. We got tacos, we played some games, I knitted a lot on Lilium, and then later, once the sun went down, we went on their rooftop deck and cooked out like burgers and hot dogs and stuff. And we tried to watch fireworks, but there really weren't any like displayed. There was like a few people here and there lighting them off in the city, which is like not legal at all. So it was just a handful. So it was just a different, 4th of July, but it was still really fun because we got to spend time with family, which was really, really nice. And then another thing that's exciting this week is I have been saving my money to get some new equipment for YouTube, and I made a big purchase and got a new computer, a new laptop. So I'm really excited about that. Currently I record and edit everything on my iPhone, which works great. But I have been having a lot of pain in my neck, which is not why I got the new computer. I already wanted to get a computer to edit video on long ago, but I really noticed it lately that like looking down at my phone for hours and hours a day is quite painful. And so my new computer will be coming soon. And then I have a whole new learning curve while I figure out how to get videos from my phone to the computer and edit and all the other things that I need. But I'm really excited about that. And I've been loving my new office setup, which I will be showing you next week with my new yarn room video. My yarn room is super minimal now. This is all the yarn that I have here behind me. Everything fits on the shelf. Oh, I feel like I'm spoiling too much, but that was my ultimate goal from when I did some simplifying in January, and now I'm finally where I want to be. So anyway, I think that is it for this week. Thank you guys so much for watching, and don't forget to check out Allison of the Lofty Loops podcast, and I will see you guys again next week. Bye!